You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the national streaming sports Roku channel.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now, with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talk's MLB update. Great to have you with us. Welcoming everybody today on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're live on the national streaming sports Roku channel. Thank you to the group that allow me to share, as always, America's pastime of the love for baseball. Greg Rawlings, John Gonzalez at the Sports Authorities. Flo and the gang at Bottom Line Sports. Let's talk sports. Who else? Ken Krause over there at Golf Bud, Sports of All Sorts. Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff there out of Pittsburgh. Come on, I'm not seeing my new, Facebook just decides when we want to go live. Hopefully people will find us, right? Check out Ralph Williams at RW Media, specifically the Sports Corner, Tuesdays, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I've been a guest there. He does that with Smoking Jim Frazier, by the way. Been a guest there several times and always enjoy myself with Ralph and Smoking Jim. DDH, thumbs up. I forgot that this morning, and I apologize to my good friend who watches over us. Dave Harris. Dan Harris. Hope you had a good holiday season in heaven, my friend. What else? Thanks to my guests this morning. Richard Todd, former Alabama Crimson Tide star, Jet star. We talked a lot about his days at Alabama, playing for the legendary Bear Bryant. Replacing Joe Namath, who was one of his predecessors at Alabama, then replacing Ken Stabler. We had a great conversation. Talked about the world of college sports today and football specifically. But thank you to him. Tony Collins, former Patriot running back, will be our guest next week. Sorry, I hear some footsteps upstairs. I may get a guest here in a little bit. Trying to move my mic because this morning, and with Richard Todd this morning, we had some technical difficulties, so we had to turn it into a phone interview very quickly on the fly. I guess it went all right after we got rolling, and except for me dropping the phone once. Anyway, baseball. God, it's been a quiet week, really. I mean, we've got a few things going on. We can see what kind of signings we've had recently. We'll see what's next for Sasaki. See the free agents that are left out there, the best ones left. We've still got a couple of good players in Bregman. Flaherty, if you like that. Alonso. And then whatever else comes up today. And by the way, I want to say a quick rest in peace to one of my favorite players. And again, not a household name. Lenny Randle became a household name in like 1975-ish or 76 when he punched out his manager. But there's some questions about what happened there. I was trying to get Lenny Randle on my show for the longest time, and I thought we'd get Lenny. But sadly, that won't happen because he did pass away recently at the age of 75. He is a one-of-a-kind character, I can tell you, having some discussions with him on Facebook. So anyway, our thoughts and prayers go to his family and friends. Somebody's sneaking up on me, I can tell you that right now. Let's see who's here before I get ambushed. Who's with us this afternoon? Danny Foley's with us. Good afternoon. Chris Fgrave, thank you for the heads up. It's always Thursday at Friday. Hey, hello.
Papa wants to say hi.
Hello.
Cat first.
Cat first. Cat beats me. We'll have a little guest appearance here in a second. Good afternoon, Danny. Good afternoon, Rick Sherlock. Good to have you with us. Happy New Year to everybody.
You want to say hi to Grandma?
And who else is here? Obviously, Happy New Year to everybody. Where are you?
She's behind the curtain, Grandpa.
Come here.
Go ahead, go to Grandpa.
Come here. Look who's here. Come here, Scarlett.
No?
Give Grandpa a hug. No? Can I have a hug? Where? Can't hurt you.
You had to come down and see him.
It's hi. Say hello. Say hi, Scarlett.
Take your Grandpa out and say hi to
Take your
everybody.
Patsy out. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Scarlett, and I know more than Papa about everything.
That's right.
Is that too much for you to say?
Say hello,
Yeah.
Papa.
Is that you on the screen?
Yeah.
Ah, she's pretty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my co-host. What you want to go? Want to go to Grandma?
Yeah.
All right, I'll come up and see you in a little while, okay? I love you. Me kiss. Me kiss.
You can put her down.
Oh.
Oh,
All right, guys, sorry for that interruption, but I have to indulge myself at times.
all right.
They're looking at me anyway, right? Thank you, Danny. She's amazing. Smarter than Grandpa for sure, I can tell you. The Jane the Dancing Machine. That is Jane the Dancing Machine, which we do show every now and again on a cruise. I don't know. Did she make it into the screen? I don't know if I saw her or not. I know Scarlett was the star. So anyway, now they got to play with the cat for a little while. What's going on right now? Suzuki, by the way, Roki Suzuki, who's really, he might be the outside of Soto, maybe the most coveted free agent out there. He recently traveled back to Japan as he decides the next steps of his unusual free agency, meeting with teams in LA this past weekend. So with Burns and Soto gone, Suzuki's definitely, and Fried maybe, definitely the most sought after guy left, I think. The guy who could have the most impact. He's met so far with the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, the Cubs, the Giants, the Rangers, all reportedly received invitations to meet with him, and got had in-person meetings. We'll see whether that happened. His agents have not said who actually showed up, so time will tell. I would expect him to sign sometime here between the 15th and the 23rd, or before the end of the month anyway. We're getting close to spring training, guys. It's January 3rd. We've only got 5 weeks, and pitchers and catchers will be reporting. My money's on the Dodgers, Danny's Dodgers, to figure out a way to how to circumvent this salary cap once more and bring in this guy. I seriously think they've got an advantage with Ohtani already there. And we'll see how that goes. What do we got? We finally have some beauty and major intelligence on here. It took forever, right? But, 2-year-olds, this girl is smarter at 2 than I was at, well, maybe 64. I don't know. I was going to say 12. Shocking, I'm sure. Fortunately, it's AC is with us. Good to have you with us, AC Knight. What other news is going on right now? Guys can feel free and listen, chime in with whatever you got. We know. We know. We have so much fun. I love it when my granddaughter comes about this time and I can have a quick hot hello and hug and bring her on the show. She's such a great girl. It's her mother's birthday today. Happy birthday, Marina. 23 today. No, but I won't tell you how old she is because I get in trouble. They'll be over in a little while. We're going to have her favorite. Her mother makes a mean mac and cheese and monkey bread. Oh, my God. You guys haven't had monkey bread? You got to have it. Kim has to sign today who's Kim? I'm not sure who we're talking about. Are we talking about you talking about Suzuki? He's got to sign. I don't think he has to sign. Let me see something here. Yeah, he's got to sign sometime between the 15th and the 23rd. That's the international this is a new international signing period. That's when Suzuki's posting window closes on the 23rd of January. If he doesn't sign by then, he's going back to Japan. That's not happening. You think the Padres? Did I have the Padres on that list of teams that were invited? I just had those teams. Where'd they go? Oh, I went to a different. No, this is where I was. Sounded like something happened upstairs. That didn't last very long. It's a terrible twos. Here, Padres, they are there. I wouldn't count out the Rangers either. The Rangers, they like to spend money. Alan, I don't know if you're with us, Alan Corrales, but his Rangers like to spend money like they're the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Red Sox or the Phillies, and they're not. And I think it's a big reason why they didn't compete for a second consecutive world championship. Yeah. Somebody AC came on the show last week and thought the Red Sox were maybe it was Scott Kobe. I can't believe it was Scott. Thought the Red Sox had a great postseason. Off season, excuse me. I don't understand why they think that. We'll get into once all these free agents sign, we'll get into more of this, but there's just a lot going on. Paul Goldschmidt has made his first appearance as a Yankee. He thinks last year was an aberration. Had a bad first 4 months, did come back a bit near the end. He's 34 years old. It's possible to change the leagues, change the scenery helps Paul Goldschmidt. Or 37, sorry. He's 37 years old. He's a 4-time Gold Glove winner, so he's a good glove over there to replace Rizzo. I think he has the same type of leadership qualities that Rizzo has. I loved Rizzo, but we couldn't continue with Rizzo over there. I think 1 year, $12 million is a worthwhile risk. And if it doesn't work out, you can always move Bellinger there. I mean, he's a risk too, I suppose. But we'll see how that plays out. I do think the Yankees, listen, and I'm hard on the Yankees a lot. Still some work to do. But I like what they did. I love the Fried signing. I love the Williams trade. I think Bellinger will be is he going to be Juan Soto? Of course not. But he gets Judge out of center field, either him or Dominguez, and it improves this team. And of course, there's more to come. Still looking for a second baseman or a third baseman. Don't count Bregman out of the New York. I don't think he's going back to the Astros, and I wouldn't count him out of the Yankees yet. The big signing for the Red Sox was the White Sox best pitcher. That wasn't a signing. That was a trade, and they gave up a lot of collateral, future collateral. Now, again, prospects are called prospects for a reason, right? We get that. But, man, you gave up a ton of decent to good prospects. And for a guy who could be injury issue, and, again, I'm not sure the team's that close that you give up those types of prospects for that type of player. Had a great year last year, 100%. Thank you, Danny. Always appreciated, never necessary. You guys are the best. Yes, even worse. That was a trade, right? Exactly. So let's see what else. The Brewers acquired Grant Anderson from the Rangers. Big deal. Lenny Randle, as I said, passed away. Lenny Randle, I don't know whether, and I got distracted when I was talking about Lenny, and thoughts and prayers out to his family. This guy had a couple of good years in the majors, played with both the Mets and the Yankees at one point. Had a real good year with the Mets one year. Real good year. For the 70s and the middle infielder, he had a decent year. Today he wouldn't. But he was a good player off the bench. He could play second base. He could play third base. He could play left field. There's two very famous instances with Lenny Randle. Well, there's three, I guess. The Frank Lucchesi situation, which I mentioned. He claims Lucchesi called him a racial epithet, by the way, and also called him a punk several times behind his back and into his face, and precipitated what happened. He was no longer a Ranger after that. But he famously was it looks like he's a Mariner, I believe, when there was a bunt down third baseline and he's on his hands and knees trying to blow it foul. He said he wasn't blowing it foul. I'm trying to remember what he was doing. He said he was doing. Sure looked like he was trying to blow a foul to me. And another famous one where I can't remember the pitcher for the Indians. I wish I could remember his name. Hit him. And the next time up, and I think under the orders of Billy Martin, but knowing Lenny Randle, it could have been Randle on his own. He bunts down the first baseline and just levels this guy. Wish I could find. I got to find this play. If I can find it, I will share it. I promise you. Oops, maybe we won't because I'm having some. This thing always happens at the wrong time. See if I can find this. You guys put up a couple of comments if you'd like. Any memories of Lenny Randle, you guys of the right age? AC, you might be too young. I don't know. Lenny Randle runs over. I got to show you this highlight. It's one of my favorite baseball highlights of all time. If I can find it, you'll love it. I think I got it. Woo! Who's the pitcher? The pitcher is Bob Johnson. All right. Can I do this? We'll watch this whole thing. Hold on. Bear with me, gentlemen. I gotta do something first. Hold on. I hope I get this. I want to make sure I got the right. The bunt that led to a brawl. Let's try this one. All right, hold on. I think I got it. Let me share. Let me see if I can share. This is so much fun. Isn't this great TV? See what I got here. Hold on. Which one did I grab? All right, hold on. I gotta find what I grabbed here. All right, let's try this one right here. Oh, what happened? I think I grabbed the right one. I think I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, me out. Still don't have it. I'll find that. I'll find this son of a gun. Bear with me. Oh, no. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Check it out.
Slide. Lenny Randle was later thrown at. Then afterwards, dropped a bunt that gave him a path to run into pitcher Milt Wilcox.
I love that.
The benches, of course, cleared, and fans began throwing food and beer at Indians players and coaches.
I wish I could make it big.
After Billy Martin later said Cleveland wouldn't have enough fans.
Hold on, here we go. I'll watch it again. Oh, I lost the video or the sound.
Dropped a bunt that gave him a path to run into pitcher Milt Wilcox. The benches, of course, cleared, and fans began throwing food and beer at Indians players and coaches. After Billy Martin later said Cleveland wouldn't have enough fans when they played each other in their next meeting, that gave inspiration for 10-cent beer night. and you can probably guess how that ended.
I got so excited I took myself out of the shot. Sorry, I love that one. I don't know why it cracks me up so much. So the Lenny Randall incident runs into 10-cent beer night, which we all know doesn't go well. AC, you gave us Mookie, much appreciated. Mookie Betts. Who'd they trade for him? Or was he wasn't a free agent? They signed him. That was a trade, right? Dodgers just signed Korean League 25-year-old second baseman for 3 years, up to $22 million. That's got to be a very recent transaction because I do not have that on my list of transactions. And it doesn't come up on. It must be today. Good one, Drew. And welcome to the show. ESPN doesn't even have that listed yet. Yes, so they got a Korean second baseman, and they'll go along with Sasaki when they sign him to a blistering, $50 million a year contract, deferred to about 2075. Wasn't Lenny the player trying to blow the ball foul? He was also the guy trying to blow the ball foul. If we can find that, hold on. This is our show today. He says he wasn't trying to blow it foul. I love this stuff. Oh my God. Can I find a video? Damn it. Come on. Give me a video. Here it is. Let's see if I get this. Let me see if I get the right one in here. Sorry, guys. This is just, I have to indulge myself, right? Have some fun. Yeah, here it is. All right, watch this play. Hold on, I got to get it back to the beginning, I think. That's the fight. All right, bear with me here a second. Are you ready? Oh, I might have missed it. Oh, this broke the lead, so where'd it go? Oh, man, I lost it. Here it is, right here. All right, hold on. Here we go. You ready? Oh, I'm missing it. There we go. I'll play it again. I love this. You can't make this stuff up, man. Watch him. Here we go. I'll run it one more time. It's a swinging bunt by Amos Otis. Great player. Yeah, you could see him blowing it. He said he wasn't blowing it. I can't remember what Lenny said he was doing. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, my God. I love it. I get so excited when something like that happens. I get myself all flustered. Red Sox crochet trade. Drew's back to real baseball, apparently. I'll take 70s Lenny Randall all day long. I got to get rid of some of these. Hold on, guys. I got to get rid of some of these Hotchkalts because screwed up my stream. I got too many videos playing here. All right, I think we should be good now. Oh, anyway, crochet trade will end up biting him in the ass. She was Drew's French. the prospects they sent over were AAA level and two of them Major League Baseball ranked. Again, here's the thing. We don't know that. I did say that in the beginning too, Drew, by the way, and I absolutely agree with you. Could, by the way, you should put could instead of will, only because speaking in absolutes when it comes to prospects, it's probably not a good idea because they're called prospects for a reason. I would give up these types of prospects for players other than Crochet, right? I mean, if I had Corbin Burns signed for 5 years and he was 25 years old, I'd give up all those prospects. Not for Crochet, who's an injury waiting to happen. And I'm not sure how good he is. National Stars always crapshoots as they adjust. Yamamoto certainly didn't pay off in 2024. They won a World Series. I mean, I might have to disagree a little bit. What was Yamamoto's? And he had some injuries. He had to fight back. And remember, these stats include like him pitching a third of an inning and got 100 runs on opening day, whatever that might have been. Hold on, let's just see. I want to see what his numbers were. So how's that not a great year? It's not a great year, but by today's standards, 18 games. He had some injuries. We know he missed some time, but he's 7-2, 3 ERA is like freaking 1 ERA any other year. I wouldn't say it didn't pay off. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, for the money, again, remember, I'm not going to say he's not worth the money. Everybody's worth. This is Keith Engle's Billy Packer moment, where I'm often wrong, but never in doubt. Everybody's worth what somebody's willing to pay them. Everybody. Me, you, Yamamoto, Soto, Gleyber Torres, whatever. Whether you earn the money is a totally different story. So I don't begrudge anybody getting whatever they can get. So with that said, what did they pay for him? I don't remember now. It wasn't $75 million. That was Ohtani, but he got a pretty good chunk of money, obviously. And I wouldn't. He had some injuries. And how many guys have to adjust? It's not, again, did it take Hideo Nomo time to adjust? He was a star right out of the gate. Once the league, here's my take. I take a little bit different approach here, Drew. I think more often than not, the league adjusts to them and they're worse later. Hideki Irabu was never any good. So if he comes up in this conversation, he just stunk. But Tanaka pitched great out of the gate. A little bit more recent than Nomo, but they both pitched very well out of the gate. Sasaki, I think was the name of he was a closer. He pitched really well out of the gate. Position players, I think Ichiro didn't have a learning curve. Matsui didn't have much of a learning curve, and I didn't give him what I really thought he was going to suck. I really did. So I don't know if I'm going to buy into that. And international stars, by the way, include guys. I would say Far East if you want to include the guys I think we're talking about, because otherwise international stars are Dominicans and Cubans and Puerto Ricans and whatnot. Well, I guess maybe not Puerto Ricans, but that's why they didn't let you play baseball. Rick, by the way, I did. Rick, Scotty Jackson, who I graduated with, and Scott played baseball. Really good ball player, by the way. Great defensive player, a good stick. We had a really good team in high school. But Scott played with a football mentality, and he just ran over a guy twice. I saw him do it twice at first base. Just running to first base, he just lowered his head and just leveled the first baseman because he was pissed about something or other. Milt Wilcox was a really good, not really good. He was a pretty good pitcher in the 70s. He pitched with the Indians. I know he pitched with the Tigers. If I'm not mistaken, he was the fourth starter on that Tigers 1984 team that was so great and won a World Series, if I'm not mistaken. I love this part of the show. When I can go back in time and look up guys like Milt Wilcox, I am having so much fun. You have no idea. Shows you how much I love baseball today, right? So Milt Wilcox was a really good pitcher. I'm sorry, not really good. He was an okay pitcher for the time. He won 119 ball games. In 1984, for the Detroit Tigers, as I said, he had his best year, 17-8. That team was remarkable. He got out of the gate, if I remember, 35-5. That was by far his best year, but he pitched on some really bad teams. He started with Cincinnati, pitched on some really bad teams in Cleveland in the 70s. Got to Detroit, won 13-12, 13-12, 12-11, and 17. There you go. There's Milt Wilcox. That was pretty close. Yeah, that Betts trade. I can't remember who they traded. Oh, Verdugo. Yeah, Verdugo was a key piece. Yeah, he was a decent player for the Red Sox, but certainly when he's the key piece in a trade, I can't even tell you who the other guys are without looking it up. It's after 3. Hello, Chris F. Grave. How are you, my friend? Hope I said hello to everybody. Drew, did I say hello when you came in? Sorry. Happy New Year to everybody. Chris, I haven't seen you since New Year's. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, if I didn't see you since then. Mookie Betts breaks AC's heart. As he should. Mike Ford just found a home with the Twins on a minor league contract. As I said at the top, Drew, it's been a slow week. The only, again, decent signing I think that's happened decent. The most prominent name signed since we last talked, which was Burns. I believe the Burns signing was right after Christmas, so we did a show that day. Or is that right? Yeah, we did a show that day. Geez, maybe I'm wrong. Might have talked about Burns. Maybe we talked about Burns on the Sunday Stream of Consciousness and not on this show. So Burns is the most prominent guy who signed since we had a MLB update. I think we had talked about Teoscar Hernandez signing. If not, we'll talk about that one as well. He signs a 3-year, $66 million contract with the Dodgers. Dodgers are the prohibitive favorite. How can the Dodgers not be the favorite right now? I'm sorry. It doesn't do me any it doesn't give me a great pleasure to say that. I don't know what happened. I think, by the way, Scarlett seems to be having a little bit of a meltdown upstairs, and I think being pulled away from her audience here was traumatic for her. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so those two signings I think happened since we last chatted. We probably talked about it on the Sunday show. But other than that, the biggest signing was Josh Bell going back to the Nationals for 1 year, $6 million contract. So it's been a quiet week. Benny, Jackie, Mookie, favorite outfielder of all time. So Mookie Betts, Benintendi. Who's Benny? Benintendi? And Jackie Bradley. How good am I? Derry Hare. So that's French, see? I guess ass isn't. Good use for the worst word ass, though. Drew, listen, I'm going off like it's a Sunday Stream Conscience. I'm a firm believer that all profanity, except one word, and it starts with a C, when used in the correct context, is acceptable. If you use words in the right, and again, even the F word, if you use it for the correct emphasis, perfectly fine to use. Good thing I work from home. Now, using it every other word just to fill in your vocabulary is not acceptable, obviously. Yamamoto, definitely not bad. He's going to be a 20-game winner once he gets. Well, that might be, again, we don't get 20-game winners as a rule. We get about one every 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Christine, really? Work. All right. So again, to me, it doesn't matter whether he's a 20-game winner because the way we play the game of baseball, we can't judge him by that anymore. But he's definitely going to be one of the top pitchers in Major League Baseball probably for the next decade, most likely, if he stays healthy. Now, again, he had some health issues, which hurts him. Hope you're doing well, Danny Fuller. We all do hope Danny's doing well. Anybody who's had some, I know a lot of our followers have had some health issues in the last year, and we wish you all well. Rick, you've had some issues. We know Scott Colby, who is not with us. Scott tends to show up like 5 minutes before the show's going to end. We wish him well. If anybody hasn't told me about their health issues, I certainly wish them well as well. Not to use the word well too much. We wish everybody a healthier and happier 2025. And we're all still here, so let's count our blessings. Chris, I can't do it. Demi Yorimolio. Can't do it. The man from Nigeria once traded for Curtis Granderson, the big man who could run. Would have loved to see him get better chance in the big leagues. I have no idea, Chris, who we're talking about today. So you, my friend, have really done a great job on the mission I've sent you on these last several months. Irreverent doesn't do this justice. Hang on, I'm going to find him. Demi Oramoyoloi. Oh, listen, the guy had 1,900 bats. How do I not remember this guy? He only hit 235, but he stole 131 bases. All right. You got me, Chris. He had to be a Blue Jay, right? No, we played with who did he play with? Wait a minute. Those only minor league stats? Those are only minor league stats. That guy never got to the major leagues. Anyway, no wonder you stumped me. Good job, Chris F. Grave. Welcome back. Seattle, St. Louis, and San Diego are only teams who have not made any moves so far. San Francisco, I think so. Yeah, San Francisco made a great move in Willy Adames, though. I think that's one of the possible game-changing moves of the postseason. I don't think they're going to beat the Dodgers, but I think it puts them in a great position for a wild card. That they still have some holes to fill as well. But Adames is a wonderful player. I would have loved to see him in pinstripes. By the way, he was willing to change positions, and the Yankees fell asleep at the wheel. If your location starts with an S, you're apparently not allowed to make trades or sign anybody. San Diego, that's San Diego, by the way, at least this year, right? Because San Diego has certainly made a lot of moves the last several years. Dodgers keep talking it. Dodgers. More stars on the horizon. Well, let me just say Dodgers. Listen, I think it's possible our teams will this will be like 78, 79. I hope it isn't going to continue that the same team wins. But I think this could be 77, 78. And 3 times in 5 years we played in the World Series. I'd like to see that. We know how many times they played each other back in the 50s and 40s. They were playing, it seemed, every other year. Yankees got the best of that most of the time. But I'd like to see a return to that. I don't care about the rest of the teams in baseball. Yup. I think that was for my figuring out who those outfielders were. I don't think it was that hard. Danny's daughter feels the same way about the C word. We can all agree the F word could be stated softly. Well, you can use it with some volume if you use it correctly. Again, any word, use it incorrectly, which I do all the time. That one I know how to use and use it correctly. Believe me. Thank you. You're the best, Danny. You're the best, my friend. What do you got here? Jeter Downs, good name. Verdugo, Connor Wong. Oh, for bets. David Price and cash. What a horrible trade, right? It doesn't get much worse. That looks like a Yankee trade from the George Steinbrenner days. Jeter down. So he got nothing going for him but his first name. And a happy birthday, 4-time World Series champion, traded once for Devon White and traded again for Kelly Gruber. Luis Sojo, only 60 today. Luis Sojo also part of. I want to check this before I. For some reason, I think I'm having a brain fart. But if I'm not mistaken, he was part of several Yankee World Series teams. Yes, there he is. He was a good player off the bench for the Yankees during that 97, 98, 99 seasons. 97, he got 239 at bats, hit 307. He was a good bench player for the Yankees, and he had a good career before that in Seattle. He had a couple of decent years. Now, again, if you're in love with home run totals and RBIs, then maybe not, but he was a solid major league player. He knows how to use all the words. Well, we all know how to use all the words. It's using them correctly, AC. I was going to say we'll bring you on the show to see how well you can use them in the correct context in the right moment. Because you also there's different ways to emphasize the word that I'm thinking of that gives it a different feel. I'm off the rails today, right? AJ Burnett and Gary Lavelle's birthday today. Gary Lavelle, a pretty good lefty. Excuse me. Sorry. Lefty reliever. 70s and 80s probably, right, Drew? I remember mostly with the Giants. AJ Burnett, one of a gazillion young. It seems like the Marlins for decades have had good young pitchers. AJ Burnett came up with the Marlins, was a really good pitcher. Pitched for the Yankees later. Pitched a no-hitter, I think, when he walked like 12 guys. Maybe he was on LSD like Doc Ellis when he pitched his no-hitter. Darren Dalton's birthday, too. Wow. Darren Dalton, fine catcher with the Philadelphia Phillies, later with the Marlins. Interesting. A lot of Phillies. Maybe somebody's typing it right now. Nobody's ever looked into this, but many Phillies, several anyway, I don't know if it's many's the right word, several Phillies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, coincidentally died from brain cancer. Darren Dalton, I believe, was one of them. Tug McGraw. I feel like there's one more big one that I'm missing. Will we see another 500-foot home run? I'm getting up there again. We're getting up there again with a few 474-foot dingers. Probably. I mean, the way Major League Baseball wants to play the game, 500-foot home runs would be a good thing. Again, look at. And again, I'm not so sure some of the 500-footers we saw in the 60s, 70s, maybe they weren't. I mean, who knows how they measure these things, right? 600-foot home run by Mantle. How are you judging that? Reggie's home run in the All-Star game in Detroit would have gone X amount of miles if it hadn't hit the light tower. Listen, I'm not a scientist, but we'll probably see one with the emphasis on home runs. Speaking of home runs, speaking of Toronto's, a lot of chatter about Vlad Guerrero again. I'd be shocked, I think, if he got traded now before the season. But a lot of chatter about Vlad Guerrero in some interesting places around the league. We'll see whether it's just conjecture or not. Dalton lived the life for sure. Tall, handsome guy, Major League Baseball player, and married to a playmate. I forgot about that. Big man lived the life. He had to fit into a short period of time, too. So I wish I could remember. I thought there was another prominent Philly who sadly passed away from or had brain cancer. I got to be able to find this pretty easy, right? I know Tug McGraw and Dalton. 6 of them. So there's an investigation too. Now I'm not sure. I guess. Well, that's funny. I find an article from March 7th, 2023. Please tell me I don't have to. This is from something called Front Office Reports. An investigation by the Philadelphia Inquirer found dangerous chemicals in the AstroTurf of the now demolished Veterans Stadium. I don't remember that. I remember there being all this talk about this tragedy. Who are the other guys? Yeah, of course. Tug McGraw, Darren Dalton, John Vukovic, Johnny Oates, Ken Brett, and David West all played for the Phillies and all died of the aggressive brain cancer, glioblastoma. I can't say that. All before the age of 60. Inquirer found dangerous forever chemicals in the turf, which was founded by Monsanto. The team used the turf from 1977 to 2001. Interesting. I remember this and people putting up conjecture, but I don't remember anything conclusive coming of it. Anyway, let's go back to some baseball, shall we? Very sad. Again, we talked about Sasaki being probably the next big piece to come off, but there's still some guys here. None of them I'm in love with. Bregman I may like. Again, that'd be a lot of reclamation projects for the Yankees. Goldschmidt, Bellinger comes with his own set of questions. Which Bellinger are we going to get? Bregman would be another guy who's trending downwards, can still pick it with the glove a little bit if they decide to go that direction. Don't know. Pete Alonso, I think, has probably backed himself into less money and less years. I think most likely with the Mets. Anthony Santander's still out there, corner outfielder. Flaherty's still out there. Who else is out there? Ha-Sung Kim is still out there. Second baseman, can also play shortstop and third base. Yankees could be in play there too. Watch out there. Jerks and Profar. I like him. Tanner Scott, good relief pitcher. Yankees could be looking for depth there. Jeff Hoffman, local product out of Colony, I want to say, here in upstate New York. Had a really good first half with the Phillies last year, and kind of fell apart near the end of the season. He's not getting big bucks. Could be useful in the right bullpen. Carlos Estevez, Nick Pivetta. Now it gets ugly. Kirby Yates, Andrew Haney, who for some reason Alex always loved Andrew Haney. Jose Quintana. Verdugo, previously mentioned here, will not be returning to pinstripes. Max Scherzer. Forgot Michael Conforto signed with LA as well. Interesting. What do we got here? Thank you, Drew. I did. I didn't feel like being a dick right now. Sorry. Let me go back here. Chris F. Graves says, a quote from Tommy Green when he's the Phillies. I think the fans around here grew up around a nuclear facility. Listen, it's a tragedy, but you have to laugh. I mean, funny is always funny. That's funny. That's a good one. Mets are the team that lost the most players off their roster, 17. Unsurprisingly, they've also signed the most. Well, I guess the math. Again, I did major in math. If you lose 17, you got to replace 17. Mets haven't had a horrible offseason, have they? Let me take a quick look at these transactions here. Did I lose that now? Yeah, I probably did. Let's see what the Mets have done. Am I happy? I mean, Drew, I know you desperately don't want me to think you're a Met fan. Let's take a look at the Mets offseason, shall we? Sean Manaea, a lot of money. Pitched really well last year. I'm okay with them bringing him back, I guess. $25 million a year feels like a little bit of a leap of faith, but again, the going rate, you saw what Severino got from the A's, $22 million a year. Clay Holmes, it's a reach. 3 years, $38 million. He signed him to be a starter. He failed as a starter previously. He's failed as a closer. He's probably best in lesser leverage situations. Maybe his time as a closer has steeled him more for a starting role. We'll see. Soto, obviously, listen, he's going to make that team instantly better. Put him with Lindor and whomever else in that lineup. You'll do fine. Frankie Montas, I watched him pitch in New York, by the way. I'm not sure New York is the best place for Frankie Montas. Jose Siri, there's a guy with a ton of talent, but about a 10-cent head. Sorry, I forgot the rest of the analogy there, right? $100 million talent, 10-cent head. There's that deal you were talking about, Drew. Just came across my page right now. Dodgers and Hee-Sung Kim reportedly agree to a 3-year deal. So again, that was the Mets' big signings. I don't know where else. I didn't pull up everything. I guess the Mets did all right. There's some leap of faith there. I did say, already used that, didn't I? In Yankee Town, we finally talk more about Clay Bellinger's dad, who won 3 World Series. Yes, he did. He was I don't know if he was. I've tried to get him on the. Clay Bellinger is a dad, by the way. Cody Bellinger is the son. Am I right? I'm not messing that up, am I? I think he got it backwards, but that's okay. Clay Bellinger is the dad. Yeah, barely played, but he does have 3 World Series rings, so it's really coming home for Mr. Bellinger. Oh, there you go. Relief pitching market should be moving very soon with a number of decent. There are some good relief pitchers available. I agree with that, Drew. And that's going to be a domino effect, right? Once one starts going, we're going to see a bunch of them sign. I think once we get through the holiday season, maybe it takes till after the international signing period. I don't know. But I would expect that market to kind of break up or break free. If not soon, then at least by the end of the month. Dodgers want 2 pitchers, 1 setup, and we'll have a 6-man rotation and 14 pitchers, the starter. You can only have 13, I think, though, if I'm not mistaken, unless you got a guy who can go both ways. Or is it 14? There's a new rule or newish rule. Max pitchers on a Major League Baseball. Let me just make sure I'm right or wrong here. 13 pitchers is the most pitchers you can carry. That's why some teams have been kind of interested in Lorenzen, guys who can hit, and they can put them on a roster as an outfielder and then pitch them. You can't stop them from pitching a position player. So there's been some talk of that type of thing going on. But 13 is the limit. But a lot of the Red Sox are talking about going with a 6-man rotation. Again, falling further and further behind, baseball's norms. 6-man rotations will be the next big thing, right? And they'll pitch 4 innings a game. Almost all their free acquisitions are stretches. Yeah, I agree. Throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. Manaea, Soto notwithstanding. Manaea, too. I wouldn't say Soto is not throwing spaghetti against the wall. You know what you're getting with Soto. He's proven he can play in New York. There's no question that Soto's one of the top hitters in the league. Now, he doesn't bring a lot of defense. He doesn't bring any base running because I think Gleyber Torres taught him how to run the bases when he runs the bases. But he's a stick. I mean, the guy hits. He's a great hitter. Manaea's, again, has not had the track record Soto has had. So I would say everybody except Soto's a stretch. For sure. But, when your big acquisition is as big as Soto, I guess you can take a few chances. Bauer Power. Could we see Trevor Bauer and his Atlanta Braves seemingly the most, I guess you're saying, could we see him with the Braves? Seems like the most forgiving franchise. Maybe. Again, here's the thing with Trevor Bauer. His last issue aside, if we just remove it, again, he put himself in a bad position to get accused of the things he got accused of. And I'll take it at face value that the woman made everything up. I don't want him on my team anyway. He's not a good teammate. He's not a good clubhouse guy. He's not the kind of guy that you want on a team trying to build a winning chemistry. Very talented guy. I'm never going to take that away from him. Got a powerful arm. I watched him throw it into almost the upper deck from the pitcher's mound one day. 14 pitchers are allowed after September 1. I was obviously talking about as a rule. When rosters expand after September 1st, a lot of things out of the norm are available. But as a rule, for 90% of the season, well, my math isn't good there, I know, Drew. You can only have 13 pitchers. So finding some of these two-way guys would be helpful for a team trying to manipulate that. What about Ohtani? That's a great point, Danny, and I hadn't given that a lot of thought. I don't know if there's a limit, though. I wonder if there's a... Come on. When I was reading some articles about so for September 1, 28 pitchers, limit of 14. I'm sorry, 28 players, limit of 14 pitchers. Must designate every player in active roster as either position player or a pitcher. Those designated as position players are unable to pitch unless it's extra innings or the team is ahead or trailing by more than 6 runs when they take a mound. Well, they've worked a way to get around this, or to try to lock this out, I should say. Teams can also designate players. Oh, you can designate two-way players if they meet a certain criteria. Two-way players are able to pitch in any situation, but don't count against that roster's total. I don't understand. What's the point of the first rule if you have the second one? Interesting. Ohtani's a great example. I use Michael Lorenz. We got a much better example in Ohtani. Oh, good call, Danny. Yankees did themselves great not going after Soto. Agree 177%. Chris F. Gray, well, you would believe Bauer and Vic can kiss. Wow. You would. Unbelievable. These all, this one sentence, what is this? Chris F. Grave, wow, you would. Unbelievable. Bauer and Vic can kiss his dollar amperstamp dollar signs. I know you don't like Vic. I'm not a big Vic fan either. That's why I stopped playing the commercial, by the way. I don't use the product, by the way. I used others. Yankee signed Andrew Velasquez, 30-year-old, to a... Yeah. You know what? if I'm not mistaken, Velasquez has been on this team before and had a stretch where he played pretty well. Unless I'm misremembering and thinking of somebody else. Milton Bradley. He made some great board games. Great story how he made it to the bigs. His dad came from Vietnam, and as well, that explained his temper. But still a success story, Milton Bradley. But you know what? His attitude and his temper got pretty much cost him his career, in my mind. Teams just didn't want much to do with him. And we're going a little long, it looks like, but that's okay. I want to check out Milton Bradley's career and see, again, how many board games he really came up with. No. Great board games. Yes. Some bad. Where do you see? He played with Montreal. I mean, he was a decent player, not a great player. And again, I really think his anger issues really caught up with him. The man would play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. He played in Boston. Never played in Boston. Thought he played in Philadelphia too. I'm thinking of another Bradley. Oh, Phil Bradley. Many, many years ago, he played with Seattle and I think Philadelphia. Fangraphs has a great off-season tracker for staying up on all the moves. Thank you, Drew. Yeah, right. Well, when I get sidetracked, showing videos of Lenny Randall and talking about nonsense. There you go. 28. He had a nice little stretch where, he looked like he was going to be the next nobody. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in. Drew, thank you for giving us the updates of things that I have missed, and we'll check out. Yeah, I know about Fangraphs. I think I have an app on my phone. Probably don't check it. But it is a bit of a slow week, and I expect things to pick up. We'll be here most every Friday throughout the off season. We could take a Friday off here and there when it's quiet, but it won't be the off season much longer, guys. I'm going to be on a cruise in February, and when I come back, we'll be well into spring training. So we'll have lots and lots of fun. See you Sunday for sure. Thank you, Drew. We had a little trouble. I want to thank Richard Todd for this morning. We had a great time. He was very patient. He was having some technical difficulties. I can hear the music. He was having some technical difficulties, and we never did get him on video, but I jury-rigged my phone to my microphone, and we did a old-fashioned phone interview with Richard Todd, former Crimson Tide not superstar, but he was a great player in college, a great player at times with the Jets. He gave the Jets 2 or 3 of their best years in a row within a 20-year period. He had some big shoes to fill, and we had a great conversation. He was under no illusions about what his career was. And I think he was a better player than he's given credit for. So we had a great conversation. Check that out. We'll be back Sunday with the Stream of Consciousness. You guys are the best audience in the world, and we'll see you all later on. Danny, see you later. Thank you so much, Danny. Goldschmidt over Luke. Yes. And see you later, guys. Bye-bye. That's awesome.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.